Greetings from the Republic of Texas. This is Commander Maverick with another edition of tutorials. Today's edition is about aiming guide number 2. This is a little more intermediate phase versus the basics that I went over last time. So this time what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go into a random battle, which gives you a better idea how things flow. The co-op is not great for that because they actually move really fast. They don't stop, they don't hang out, and they don't act like people do. So it's not the best of scenarios. It's good for a basic tutorial, but now I want to get into this. So per request, I am going to utilize something more midline. We're going to drop down to tier 5. This happens to be the Giulio Cesare, which is a tier 5 battleship. It's comparable to any other tier 5 ship, so the Texas, the Wyoming, the Kaiser, the Orion, it's the Congo, whatever have you. It's comparable to those ships there. Of course, every ship, as I say, always know your ships, has their own little variances that you need to get familiarized with and know your vessels. Know what your ship's about. So let's start with this one real quick. The main battery here is 320 millimeter batteries. They have a 30-second reload. Max HE shell damage is 4800 with a 35% fire chance. And max AP damage is 9700. This has a firing range of 16.4 kilometers, so it's pretty short range compared to some other battleships at this tier. And its AP and HE velocities are 830 meters a second. Again, always remember that the velocity is very important in your aiming. Obviously, the faster the velocity, the more actually accurate. The slower, the more arc you got to compensate for that when you figure your lead times and you're aiming at a vessel. So couple different factors there, but this one's pretty midline, moderate. The turret setup on this, it's got 4 turrets, and the way it's got a 3 and 2 by turret in the front, and then it's got a 3 and 2 by turret in the back. So it's got 10 guns total, set up in 2 3s and 2 2s. A little bit different, but the scope of it is still basically the same. And at tier 5, it's not really going to make that big of a difference. The modules, real simple again. There are no upgrades on this, so they're standard. Here I have main armaments mod 1, damage control mod 1, and of course aiming systems mod 1. I happen to have a 19-point captain on here, and this is kind of what that looks like. You got your preventive maintenance, expert loader, expert marksman, always on a battleship for your turret traverse time. Adrenaline rush is good because as you take damage, your reload times will drop. Of course, you want to tank as much as possible. Survivability expert is a good one, and basics of survivability is a good one to have here. Decrease because you're going to be burning some. Then I have just BFT and AFT with the they affect both your AA and your secondaries. Now on this one here, it's got some secondaries. It's not anything to write home about. Again, 5 kilometer range. They're okay, nothing, but they're there. I mean, they're still secondaries, and they can help you. So you have, 4x2 set up here and 6x2 set up there. So you do have some secondaries, and and overall that's 20 guns firing that could eventually make a difference, especially if there's a destroyer hunting you or whatever. So that is what it is. Okay, let's go into the battle and let's take a look and see how this all plays out with the aiming. If you look at my other video, it kind of gives you some basics about reticles, the circle, all that still applies. Okay, and now this is a little more, this is past that. This is going to be a little more advanced than that, but it's going to go deeper into the finer arts of aiming and hitting your ships, angles of ships, etc. Now, everybody here knows I do have some mods that I run. One of them is, it's Aslan's, and that does give you some information that a lot of people don't have or don't see or whatever have you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you both aspects of this, where to use both your mini map right here and use information on the mini map, as well as what you're seeing visibly out on the field. But this mini map has a lot of information that's very vital during the battle that you do need to pay attention to. Never dismiss it. It's one of your more valuable tools, and before Aslan's and all that, that's what I use.
Good luck, everyone.
Okay, so let's see what we're doing here. We always want to try and support our destroyers, and we're going to see where they're heading here. So it looks like we're going possibly B and C.
Negative. I need intelligence data.
Kind of just going half speed here until everything starts happening and transpiring. I usually like to go A here, but I don't think I'm going to have any support, so I'm going to skip A on this one and not get caught in a bad situation, overextended, and kind of help out over here, since these guys are deciding to leave a flank completely open.
Enemy force sighted on the horizon.
Again, I'm not really going to be discussing tactics and all that here. That's what this is about. This is about how to aim and shoot and hit your target. So please bear with me on this. I'm not going to be shooting for that 150K game. I want to get the aiming down, and for y'all to literally see and understand how to really target a ship well and correctly. Okay, one of the things I talk about is smoke. Now, if you look at that Miyogi's smoke right here, he's going full speed. It's going way back. It's leaning all the way back, full, almost out the back of the rear. That is a full speed battleship. He's hooking it. So he's not half stepping it. He has got it full speed. That's critical. That will be critical and play out in how you're going to aim at a target. Now, Julio Cesaro. Okay, here we go. He's 8.7 seconds. He's angling in. You can see it here, and you can see the angle right here on your mini-map. So you can put your mini-map at any size you want, whether you hit the plus or, but you can see the angle in relationship to your line right here. So even if you don't have this HUD, this angling is still shown on here. There's nothing on my screen that you don't have. If you don't have Aslan's, that's fine. You can still gather all this data via the mini-map right here. If you want to enlarge it a little bit, don't forget, you can also come in here and make it more transparent. If it's real dark, it blocks your view. I like it pretty transparent. And by hitting the plus sign or the minus sign, you can enlarge it or decrease the size of it as you please. Whatever you're seeing here, you're seeing here. The angles in relationship to your ship are all there. And if you're aiming or locked onto one, okay, like here I'm locked onto that Emil, or now I'm locked onto this other DD right here, it's showing me the angle in relationship to my guns. Same thing that this is doing right here. This is showing the angle in the ship in relationship to me and my gun. So there is his angle. He's going full speed by his smoke. Everything, all the data is right here. This is a great tool because you don't have to sit there and analyze this as closely. It's kind of like a heads-up display in your windshield. But it's all there. So here we go. He's 6.6 seconds out. Let's see where we hit. We're going to be a little bit forward because that's a battleship. I thought I was shooting at that Kuma, but that was my mistake for not analyzing a little faster. And we're out of range here. Now, here's the Miyogi. So, what is he doing? He is doing, look at his smoke, how much different it is from where he was cruising. He is doing about a quarter speed. I'll put that 4 about right here. So the 4 mark was about, this 4 mark right here is 4 seconds out. Look at where I'm putting it. Look where it's going to land, right there. Boom. And he took a bunch of damage right there. because he's going real slow. He's not going fast. He's just kind of cruising now. Here's the other Julio. He's turning away. Again, the angles are right here. You can see him turning.
Enemy destroyer sighted. Enemy battleship sighted.
Oh, we got us. Try to take him out.
Detected. Enemy battleship sighted.
Shot a little too far ahead because I was anticipating his takeoff to be better. That's okay. Still put rounds on him. Now, I'm doing a big no-no. I am broadside. I was going to say not to ever be, but that's okay. This is not about tactics. This is about dangerous company. There we go. 4 seconds. 3. I'll put it down here and fire it. I'll land right there. Citadel. Punish them. I have a potato in my way, and hey, you know, potato, appreciate that. So now we're going to see, this is the biggest threat. I'm going to see if I can get guns on this guy here.
Enemy destroyer sighted.
So we're going to lead him. He's really fast. He's hooking it.
Problem solved, sir.
He cut it. Still got rounds into him. Now I have no support. A bunch of potatoes. And that's the problem with Tier 5. Okay, let's see if we can get this. It's 3 seconds. I'm going to double it. Perfect. Right on schedule. Cause a bunch of damage to him.
Main turret critically damaged.
Of course, the other Julio shot me. Took out one of my front turrets. That's okay. Because DD's gonna hunt me now because he thinks he's cute. He's got all those buddies with him. I have nobody because I have a potato team. So he's boogieing. He's actually leaving the scene. Let's see what we got here. I'll put the 5 about right there. Hit about right there. Got some good rounds on him. That's aiming general. Now remember, you know, the Kaiser was going half speed. They're slow battleships. They run about 21, 22 knots, whatever it is, top speed. So I'm not having to lead out that far. But even at top speed, I'm going to put that 5-second mark about right in the middle because I want to try to hit a citadel. So that's what that's about. So here he's angled. He's angling towards me more and more, so I'm going to drop in a little bit right here. And now there's that circle. Imagine he's got a circle around him. Use that circle to give you guidance. Should be pretty darn good salvo. There it is. Right on target. Okay. That's how I cut in on the circle. If you saw what I did there, that is how you utilize that circle and the angle. I didn't put my 5 mid-mark. In fact, at that point, it really didn't have nothing to do with it. It had to do how much angle I had off the nose of his ship. Now, he's more out. He's 6 seconds out. Let's see if we can punish him. Boom, there it is. He got hurt. Now, they have that turtleback armor. So getting citadels on a German ship is going to be really hard, but I still punish him. I still do a lot of damage. I don't have to look for that citadel with him. It's about just punishing him, you know, and that's exactly, he's broadside. He's perfect broadside to me. 7 seconds. Get another round off to him. See what happens. Yeah, not too bad. A little forward. Probably he slowed down a little bit when he saw the other ship. Okay, got good rounds on him. This guy thinks he's cute. He's trying to zig and zag, trying to be slick.
Torpedoes to starboard. Torpedoes astern.
Perfectly broadside, 4 seconds out. Let's put that on them. Let's hurt them.
Torpedoes astern. Torpedoes astern. Taking on water quickly. Problem solved, sir. Torpedoes to starboard. Torpedoes astern.
And we're done with the cruiser. There's that Citadel.
Enemy cruiser foundered.
Torpedoes to starboard.
Now, optimally, it'd been great to have had HE loaded here, but I was dealing with a cruiser, and I'm not going to play with HE on a cruiser. I'm dead. I mean, there's nothing I can do here. Way over inundated here, but that's all right. All right, gentlemen, that's the basics. You saw I put 50 rounds on target, 50 hits. With that, I had 2 incapacitation, 2 citadels, a kill. That's quite a bit of damage, okay? I scored, and that's not even trying. I was up here, top of leaderboard, just showing you, and just it's so easy, guys. It really is. Don't be nervous. Don't get flustered. Stay calm when you're out there, and calm is everything. You saw I'm just sitting here chatting to you, and I'm just doing my thing and trying to zig and zag and avoid torpedoes. And by the way, this is not an edited video. This is live. I am talking as I'm playing, so I'm not going back like these other content creators like Notzer and Flamu and all them and talking over the video. I'm not doing that. I am talking live, gentlemen. This is a live video, okay? As you can see, this is the damage I did here. The Kuma, I did 13,000 on him. The Kaiser, I did 33. So that's a lot of rounds on target. So main battery, I did 83,000 in damage with my main battery. So that's a lot of damage in 52 rounds. Secondary, I did not quite 1,000 with my secondaries. Okay, so there's the scope of it. The majority of my damage, 99% of it, came from the main batteries. This is using the dynamic sight, as you saw. I do not use the standard sight because it doesn't compensate for shell velocities or speed or nothing. The dynamic does. That's your friend. And it's about just using that clock, the seconds, and the speed of the vessel and the angle. Those are your 3 main factors of whether you're going to hit that or where you're going to aim or wherever. And take your time looking at that. If you need to take an extra second or two, take that extra second or two. Now, in a battleship, you have anywhere from 25 to 30 plus seconds before you reload. You should have more than enough time to get your sight lined up in that 30 seconds. You're not rushing. You saw me. Even when I got up close and personal, I wasn't rushing. I scoped into that ship. I kind of looked at him. I got my sight lined up. When I was ready, I fired. And that's the key, is don't be nervous. Don't get rattled. It's a game. Stay calm. The calmer you stay and the more focused you get, the better you're going to shoot. Now, one more reminder. Go into co-op. Co-op is your friend. Go in here. Even I do it. If I haven't played a ship for a long time, I'll say, man, I haven't played this. I need to refamiliarize myself with the guns, whatever. Let me go back into co-op and play this thing a little bit and get refamiliarized with the guns and see what they're about. Let me check them back out, yada, yada, yada. And go in here and practice a game or two if you need to. Practice 5 or 6 games. Practice 10 games. Man, you can never get enough practice. I can't stress that enough. I tell that to all my clan members. I tell that to all my friends. Practice, practice, practice. That's what makes perfect. If you look at all the professional teams, players, pro gamers, what do? They get on here and they practice and practice and practice. Don't practice in random. Random is too arbitrary. Co-op, them ships are coming at you. You're not going to waste any time getting rounds on target because they're going to be there before you know it. They're going to come at you. They're going to stay coming at you until you kill them or they kill you. And random, they're going to run. They're going to hide. They're going to be sneaky. They're going to use smoke. They're going to hide some more. And I've spent the first 2 minutes not shooting at nothing in random because nobody's out there. They're all busy hiding or scheming or sitting in the spawn deciding what to do. And that's ridiculous. So you need to get out there and shoot. You need to get there and practice. Co-op's great for that, okay? So it has its purposes. Utilize it. Now, we also have a new feature that they activated, and that's your training room. So you can go in here into training room and actually set up a training session and use it. Man, these are your friends right here. Okay, they are going to help you learn the tactics that I'm trying to show you and teach you. They're going to help you get better and get those rounds on target better and how to adjust for the angles of the ships and whatever have you. You never really have to worry about your angle, okay, as far as your guns go. Yes, you need to worry about your angle as far as in relationship to broadside to other ships. That's not what I'm talking about. Your angle means nothing in relationship to your guns and how you're going to shoot this ship. So don't worry about your angle. Worry about the other ship's angle in relationship to your guns. That's what I was showing on the mini-map. So when you're looking on the mini-map, or if you have the HUD downloaded, use your HUD, and that is the key to understanding and seeing what you're shooting at correctly. So you understand if you gotta, pull the reticle back, if you gotta go forward, off to the right, to the left, up, down, whatever, that angle is going to give you that. Okay, that is part of it. The second factor is time. The biggest factor is time to target. Okay, everything is based off of that. So if you're running a 6-second or 7-second time target, that's your foundation. Then you take that 6 or 7 seconds and say, okay, this thing is moving half speed. You're going to cut that in half. So now it's 3 seconds. Okay, you saw how I did that. So basically on a Kaiser or the Miyogi, I took that 3-second mark and I put it on the nose because I'm cutting it in half. So if it's 6 seconds out, I'm putting a 3 on the nose, I'm putting that 6 right in the middle where the Citadel is, in between the 2 stacks, right where the superstructure's at. And I fire. And 85% of the time, I'm going to hit the Citadel. You're not going to get 100% Citadel hits because you have this little factor in here called RNG, which is a random new major. So you are not going to hit that Citadel 100% of the time. You're not. RNG is against you on that, okay? But you will hit it the majority of the time. Even here, while I wasn't really trying, I was just kind of boom, got my target up there, and I shot it. I still got Citadels. So it's not hard to do, but it's not every single shot. So if you don't, look at the amount of damage you're doing. Say, man, I just did 10 grand. I just did 30 grand. Salvo, what? Hey, you're chunking out damage. That's the key. Not Citadels, not whatever. If you're a cruiser, what's the key there? Fires. Fires are the best thing you can do is start fires. You get a broadside anything to you, hey man, a broadside cruiser, especially, you want to switch to AP, and now you're talking about Citadel and the piss out of that cruiser if he's broadside. Battleship, situational, okay? More likely not. But in higher tiers, you have really powerful cruisers like the Hindenburg and the Moskva and the Des Moines. Their AP will actually cause a lot of damage to a tier 10. Montana, Yamato, Conqueror, doesn't matter. Battleship, significant amount of damage because broadside it chews up their superstructure and everything else and their deck, and you do cause a lot more damage than you realize with AP if they're broadside. If they're angled at you, bow in, away from you, whatever, and they have any kind of angling more than a little bit, more than 5, 7, 8 degrees, you're going to bounce shells. And you're going to see it. If you're loaded with AP and you started shooting broadside and you got some good damage and all of a sudden start turning, the next salvo is going to bounce. You're going to have a lot of bounces. So you're going to notice the difference immediately as he starts turning, especially with German AP like the Hindenburg or the Rune. So keep that stuff in mind. HE doesn't know armor. HE will hurt regardless of their angling or nothing. It'll always cause damage, fires, all that. So in a cruiser, HE is your friend. Battleships hate it, but hey, it's part of the game. But I don't know why they don't understand. I know it. So when I'm in a battleship, what am I going to do? Well, I'm gonna stack up for it. If you look here and we go into my battleships, I am going to try to be as prepared as I can for that kind of stuff. So what I do here, I do little things like that gives you extra HP pool. And then this is a big one. We're talking fires and floods. Well, that's a big one. This is another big one right here, okay? So these will help you with those fires and floodings and whatever. And of course, there's modules. You can choose to take DC2 as well on here. Whatever you want to do. I like the rudder shift, but is it a have to? No. If you're in a match constantly where you're always sustaining a ton of fire damage, well, one thing is a battleship, you need to be out a little ways. You shouldn't be way up into near the cap where you're like the primary focus of anybody. That's not your job yet. Tank damage down the road, maybe middle of the match where it's a significant effort or we could win or lose. Then you start saying, let me go tank damage for this DD and this cruiser up here or whatever. That's different. Okay, but in the beginning of the match, if you're up inside of a cap, for the most part, that's a mistake. And you shouldn't be there. Even German battleships, I say, are tanking fools, and they are. This guy here, he is set up for bear right here. Secondaries, manual, everything, modules. He is fully set up to get in there and just, 11-1 secondaries. And these secondaries, everybody knows, are an absolute monster. But, man, if you're up in cap early in the game like that, unless you have the proper support, you're going to die fast. And people at that level usually don't miss. Very rarely do players at tier 9 and 10 miss when they shoot. And that's how you get good. You get in there, you use co-op, you use training, and practice your shots. And understand the angles when you're shooting at angled ships that are angled at you like this. You're not going to take the 5-second mark and put it here. You're going to take that 5-second mark's going to be back here, and you're angling like this, especially in relationship to how close or far you are. So if you're pretty close, man, you're putting that reticle almost near his nose. If you're farther out, then you base that based on his speed and your distance. So that's what it's about, gentlemen. I thank you very much always and again for watching my videos, and for those of you that are in my clan, I appreciate your hard work and your efforts that you do put forward and all the practice time that you put in together and helping your teammates. Continue to have a wonderful time with this game. At the end of the day, always remember it's a game, and have fun. Enjoy yourselves. Thank you again, and have a good day.